Hello and welcome to On the Other Hoof Christmas special of 2016. It's been quite some time since we were last on Google Hangouts. They are still a nightmare, there's still problems, and we still managed to get our way around it a little bit late nonetheless. But we are here and live after, 7, 8 months away from On the Other Hoof. We did have Nick Schofield on for our last preview of any sort of races, so it's been quite some time. Plenty of water has passed under the bridge, but we thought we'd come back one more time anyway. We may have a few more in the future to preview all the festive action. 5 races on Channel 4 that we'll be looking ahead to. 4 from Kempton, 1 from Wetherby in the Roland. Of course, the main race of the Christmas period is the King George at Kempton. Just 5 have turned up. However, we do have the race that we did want with Thistlecrack and Q-Card both taking part. Only 3 of us, as you can see, this time around, because Michael Andrews here, and he was informed us that it's 3 a.m. in Australia, so we've let him off for the night. We've given him a bit of time off, but nonetheless, us 3 are still in England. My name is Luke Elder. Joining us is Timeform's Callum McDowell and the Press Association's Adam Webb. Well done, guys, on getting jobs.
Oh, thank you very much.
Job.
We
had this, but we came back. But Adam has had a change of job and, has actually got a job now.
Adam.
Proper job, anyway, we'll call it. Yeah, we haven't done an On the Other Hoof since the end of March. Well, middle of March. So, yeah, lots changed in that time. So it's been a hell of a year.
Well, since we last saw everyone at home, I thought John F. Kennedy was a certainty in the Derby. Callum thought that Golden Ball was trained by Ross Charlton. Was that last year?
Yeah. John F. Kennedy was sent to America at the end of last year.
He'll still win a Derby, I'll tell you that.
What, the Argentinian Derby that's for any aged horse? Or
bring him back.
Stood anyway.
How are you, gentlemen, anyway? Are we all set for Christmas?
Yeah, I'm all set. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, already.
You guys seem buzzed.
Yeah, really excited, actually.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I'm already enjoying it. One theme that we have to say that we do bring around for the On the Other Hoof Christmas specials is that we usually drink throughout. This year is no different. Adam Webbed it.
Yeah.
And he's got, I think, a can of Coke.
Yeah, I've got a can of Coke. Hang on 1 second. There it is.
Callum Adele, your choice of beverage?
I've got a Corona.
I've gone slightly more pretend sophisticated. I've got a glass of wine.
Good wine, though.
I did have eggnog earlier, and I was going to be festive and get some eggnog, but we drank it. So, other than that, festive as anything. And Santa Hat has made an appearance once again. But 5 races to preview. And while we're here, do get your questions in as well. At On the Other Hoof is our point of contact on Twitter. Any questions or fancies you may have. And also, we welcome you drinking along with us as well. So, and any pictures of what you are drinking into at On the Other Hoof. And as Twitter would say, you can come and get blindo with us as we through Christmas Eve into Christmas Day. I think we're all going out later on, aren't we? Not together, but...
If we were all going out together, I'd be slightly concerned considering we're all at different points in the country. So,
I am once again the most southern. So,
yeah, and I'm the most northern, which isn't normally the case. So,
I'm in the middle.
But thank you to everyone for tuning in here on the Other Hoof Christmas special of 2016. The first race that we're going to be covering is the 32 Red Cornet Chase, a novice handicap over 2 miles, 4 furlongs. And 110 yards. Just these 7 go to post, but it's quite a wide open one here, Adam, with San Benedito, 2 Tafts, Gold Present, Max Ward as well, bringing in some useful levels of form.
Yeah, it is an open race. Although it was a big field to start with at the 5-day stage, you could consider it a disappointing turnout, but I think it's a competitive enough race. I mean, you've got Gold Present in there, who I personally fancy. He won on his chase debut at Doncaster, jumped well in the main, and I think a £7 rise in the weights I think is very fair for him. Nicky Henderson has won this race 5 times in the last 10 years, and I think he deserves to be at least joint favourite with Poker School, who was well back to Ascot, and he duly obliged. But I have a slight concern that it's a quick turnaround for him, and I think he was trained to peak there in a race that you couldn't really see very much of. But the manner in which he did it from 2 outs of a line was pretty impressive. Others to consider, Max Ward obviously chased home Altior in the Henry VIII, and I think the step up in trip could potentially bring out further improvement in him. So I'd have him as the main danger to Gold Present. Of the rest, I'm not convinced about San Benedito over fences personally. He unseated last time out behind Whisper. If there was another in the race, I'd give a consideration to it besides in Tennessee, who's got some decent enough form to start off with. Wasn't fit first time out behind 007. Obviously, come forward for that when behind Whisper at Cheltenham, and he could be fairly handicapped on his first go in handicap over fences anyway. The selection is Gold Present to continue Nicky Henderson's record in the race and to start off on the other hoof with a good Christmas present.
I thought we'd start off with Adam and just get it out of the way, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I'd be willing to take a chance on sizing Tennessee. I got a favourable mention from Adam there. He's running some pretty hot novice chases so far, as Adam rightly mentioned, behind 007, beaten 10 lengths, albeit it could have been a heck of a lot more with 007 hanging halfway across the track. And at third behind Whisper and Baron Alco last time out. Baron Alco, a novice chase that I like quite a bit. He was in this race as well, but doesn't take his part. But Whisper, as we know, a dual grade 1 winner over smaller obstacles, made a good start to life over fences. And Colin Tizard for this season needs no introduction whatsoever. Aidan Coleman in the saddle, I thought around 9-1, he could be a fair enough price. But it's a good little race to start things off. Gold Present has to be respected after a success at Doncaster last time. I was pretty impressed with him on that occasion. So again, he'll have to step forward off the £7 higher handicap mark. And this is a bit of a tougher race. Would be the right favourite, but Callum, it's sizing Tennessee for me.
Good for you. Yeah,
a seamless handover, and you ruin it. You ruin it with that.
Why? It's a strange handover. I don't think you're used to these handovers. So
it's been a while. It's been a while.
It has been a while. I can see your rustiness there.
Well, come on for the run.
So I'll probably start with Gold Present because Adam has gone for it. I'm happy to take him on myself, to be honest. He's a horse that seemed to have quite a few problems last year. He didn't really get going. Don't know what was up with him, but he was definitely a miss. He was really finishing his races very weakly. He's also shown a few quirks. I remember at Market Raisin back in April 2015 when he nearly ran out when he was a 1-8 favourite. So I don't think he's entirely straightforward. He also made quite a bad error early on at Doncaster on his chasing debut, which is your title to give a horse making its debut over fences, but I think this is a bit tougher. He could well go on from it and progress, but I'm happy to take him on. Poker School coming up after a quick return after winning quite nicely at Ascot 9 days ago. Again, I'm happy to take on. I really like Two Tafts in this. I know he's making his chasing debut, which is a slight risk, but he's made to be a chaser for me. He's a horse that I've been waiting for him to pop over a fence. Again, I really like his form. I thought his air win last year was really impressive on his final start. Haydock is very excusable. He came there travelling really well, turning for home. The ground was abysmal. He didn't get home over virtually 3 miles on the fixed brush fences. I just really like the fact that Dan Skelton's come straight here first time out as a novice chaser. Is a race that sometimes horses that are making their chasing debut do start here, and some of them end up being pretty useful. I think he's in the same category, and he's very much a bet for me at 11-2 or so.
He's been a horse that's disappointed me a little bit. There was quite big things expected of Two Tafts that haven't really come to fruition yet. I'm almost running out of chances, albeit over fences now.
Well, I think last time is very excusable. It's really, it's very easy to excuse a race that he just blatantly didn't get home over on very bad ground. I thought he ran really well at Sandown in that really competitive, the finale race that they have just before the festival, which is always really competitive. He went off favourite, but he ran well, and then he made no mistake next time. So you're probably being a bit harsh, I think, to be honest.
Also, he's not really done a great deal wrong. It's just that he had such big boots to fill after some comments from connections saying that they think he could be a very good horse indeed. But a nice little start to the action on Boxing Day here on, well, not here on Channel 4, here on The Other Hoof, covering Channel 4.
Not much
it won't be
longer.
that for much longer. It won't be that for much longer,
Nope.
We'll say that.
I
Next on the Channel 4, and the fourth last race on Channel 4 will be the... what are these sponsors? They're ridiculous. 188 bet Roland Merrick handicap chase. Come on now. A grade 3. Over 3 miles and 45 yards. Don't ask who I work for. It's for me, it's a really good renewal of the Roland Merritt. We've got Blackline, last year's RSA winner, Jarla Renke, who was probably impressive last time out. I don't really know. We couldn't see the race. Definitely Red is an improving chaser, and Henri Parry Morgan, another horse who's going up through the ranks with our camp doing very much the same sort of thing, Callum. So for me, this is a bang up to scratch renewal, probably better than we've seen in the past few years.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. It's not the first race I thought was interesting. I think this is a really interesting race. It is a race I've actually got a fairly firm opinion on as well. Maybe not in terms of the exact winner, but certainly horses I'd be happy to take on. I'm happy to take on Jarla Renke after that the win at Haydock the other week. Well, I think he won at Haydock and made all, but we never know. Definitely Red. Again, I'm pretty happy to take him on, to be honest. I think fences just seem a bit of a struggle to him. For me, I think he just doesn't seem a natural chaser to me. That's probably a weird comment. You guys think that's a weird comment, but I don't know. He just seems to put too much of an effort into him, and so I'm happy enough to take him on. He was a little bit disappointing last time. He was only beaten a third at Newcastle, but he went off 5-4, fully expected to win that in the rehearsal, and he didn't. So I don't really see why he's going to build on that, considering he also had the benefit of a run over hurdles before it. Black Line, I think. There was a couple of messages saying he's had a wind operation or something. Do we know anything about that?
I haven't. Well, it said in the Hennessy, because he came there travelling and he stopped and they said he made a noise. I don't know whether he's had a wind operation or not. Obviously, at the price, you have to take the risk there.
It's a mighty quick turnaround if he has had a wind operation. I know there was a horse of Twist and Davis that ran the other day that we heard had a wind operation. It was coming off a similarly quick return. I think if he has had a wind operation, I think he might just need this run again, maybe. We're only speculating with that. He's potentially very well handicapped off 153. I like Henri Parry Morgan myself. Again, I thought last year's form, I thought he did really well. He was well touted for the Hennessy. Thought he just really needed it, to be honest. It's a brutal race to start your campaign in. He not had the easiest of preps going up towards it, and he was travelling okay when I think he hit 5 out or so, and it just ended his race really. I thought he was really knocked about thereafter. Dave Noon, I think, is a solid £3 claimer. And I think he's got the form last year, particularly his run behind Native Rivers. Just 148 is actually a really good handicap mark. So yeah, I like Henri Parry Morgan for this.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree overly. I'm taking Henri Parry Morgan on, but he's a very close second to the original selection. It wouldn't be an On The Other Hoof video without me tipping up a Sue Smith runner, would it really?
No.
It had to be. I mean, Wakanda is getting dangerously well handicapped once again. Won at Ascot last year in a very, very competitive race of a mark of 151. Is now down to 149. Had just been probably a little bit high in the handicap, albeit running in some very good races as well. In the Argento, we'll call it, behind Smad Place, behind Q Guard as well at Aintree, Irish Cavalier at Wetherby. Target Trail last time out. Yes, he's got a reverse form with definitely Red, which I think he could be up to doing. A few of the Stu Smith horses have taken 1 or 2 runs just to get ready this year, and he's not been running that badly, but back into this sort of race off a mark of 149, which is a couple of pounds lower, as I mentioned, than his last winning mark. Also won at Newcastle off a mark of 145 last term as well. Anywhere near that sort of form would put him pretty close. Around 12 to 1, he's a storming each way bet. But I do see the point that you guys, well, I know Adam's going to make the same sort of case for Henri Parry Morgan. I think he's the main danger to Wakanda. I've got it between those two personally. I found it relatively easy to pick holes in the horses at the top. Callum said that definitely Red, it's a bit of an effort for him jumping fences. I think the same applies to Black Lion, to be honest. He won for me, a very... Huh?
What big is he? Not big.
He's not, is he? He's very diminutive.
No.
Oh, big word. He won a very poor RSA last year, in a sense that No More Heroes bled. More of that bled. No More Heroes, sadly, is no longer with us after getting injured in that contest. Shane's Hill II hasn't jumped a fence in public since that day and has been beaten a few times. This year, Blackline, you have to credit for that, was third behind Native River at the back end of last year, was fourth behind Irish Cavalier at Wetherby, and a good fifth in the Hennessy as well. As 3-1 favourite, though, he's always going to be a horse that I want to take on at short enough prices. Jarla Renke under the same sort of bracket now for a £10 higher mark. He absolutely destroyed, or so it would seem. As Callum said, we don't really know. A good field last time out at Haydock, but he's a horse that answered a few questions for me on that day because he got an easy lead at times last term, but i.e. in the Lanzarote, when horses just didn't get to him. I think Western Warrior was back in second or third on that occasion and was never nearer than at the line, and definitely Red for the reasons Callum mentioned. I think it is pretty easy to take on as well. So for me, Adam, Wakanda with Henri Perry-Morgan following him home in second.
I get your case on Wakanda. Sue Smith could have a really good day at Wetherby, and I'll mention that a little bit later on myself because it's one of hers I'm quite keen on. I will want to take on Black Lion because having heard what Ryan Hatch said after the Hennessy, if he has had a wind up, as again Callum said, we're speculating, it's a bit of a quick turnaround here. Wetherby suits him, obviously. He won the Feltham Novices Chase earlier on in the year. He's such a likeable horse, Black Lion, but I agree with you. He finds it's an effort to jump fences, and he's the type of horse I think will burn out sooner rather than later just because he's that small. He puts so much into his races. I just think he's worth taking on here. Yalarenki, I thought, because what we saw of the ride, I thought was excellent because he slipped the field and gave him a breather going between 3 out and 2 out. And when he emerged from the fog, he was 8 lengths clear. So given a great ride on that occasion, again, it's a quick turnaround as well. £10 higher in the weights. But if Charlie Deutsch can manage it from the front, who knows, he could go in again. And he is like, well, it was his first chase start in the UK. So he could potentially have improvement to come over the larger obstacles. Definitely Red. I agree with Callum. He does put a lot of effort into his jumping, and he can suffer potentially as a result of that. The price that he went off last time in the the rehearsal chase, it was plenty short enough on that occasion. He is well handicapped and undeniably over fences, especially on that wing where he beat Obasa, and second here over course and distance behind Black Lion. But the worry is his jumping, and it could be that he's been trained for this race. So I know a couple of people have mentioned that he'd be the ideal type for a Roland Merrick, so wouldn't shock me if he went close. But the selection is Henri Perry-Morgan, who he didn't jump particularly well in the Hennessy. It was a difficult race to pitch him in first time out. I hope his jumping improves because I have longer term aspirations for him, and I think he's a Grand National type, and I think you can still get 66 to 1 about him, so I wouldn't put you off having a couple of quid there. David Noonan is a great free plan claimer. I think he'll go very close here with a run on his side. Yeah, I think he's the one to beat here.
Poor Henri Perry-Morgan.
Yeah, Adam webbed it mightily.
Adam webbed it big.
Come on.
Monday can't win the national. Poor thing.
Poor horse. That's our one trip on Boxing Day to Wetherby done and dusted for the Roland Merrick. I've missed you, Adam. You haven't missed yourself, okay. Up next, we got the 32 Red Cornet Chase Novices Chase, or as we would know it, the Feltham Novices Chase, a Grade 1 over 3 miles. It's looking forward, really, to the big one, the King George, a little bit later on in the afternoon. But another race, Adam, that looks bang up to scratch renewal-wise. Annabelle Fly coming over from Ireland for Tony Martin. Frodon Might Bite bring good levels of form into the race themselves. And there's a few horses at bigger price that will be no back numbers.
Yeah, I like one at a bigger price than this, but I'll start off at the head of the market. Annabelle Fly, for me, is the best horse in the race. That form in the Drimmoor behind Coney Island stands up really well. My only concern with him, and it is factored into the price, is whether he's going to get 3 miles. The worry I do have as well, another slight worry with that, will he get 3 miles? There is plenty of pace on in here, and that's where one of my angles comes in, because I'm quite keen on Amore Alato here, who now I didn't think he'd get 3 miles at Sandown, but he jumped brilliantly that day, and he saw at 3 miles perfectly. Johnny Farrelly has come out and said this is his Gold Cup, and earlier in the week was wanting Richard Johnson to take the ride. He's got Richard Johnson to take the ride again. He's perfect from the front. This is the type of horse that will really suit him. He was going to win a decent prize at Ascot when he was a huge price. It's the one that Le Mercury won, but unfortunately unseated at the last.
It was the Noel Novice Chase last year.
That's the one, yeah. And I just think he's a bit of a silly each way price in this. He Touchwood, he jumps well. And there are several in this that I just can't have. Like Might Bite earlier in the week when he was favourite. I couldn't have had him in the month of Sundays. I thought he won a poor race last time. And he's a Scorpion, which basically means he's a complete and utter head case. And I don't see him in the frame here.
He does look great.
That's the thing with Scorpions. They look great, but unfortunately, they're absolutely mental. So, yeah, I kind of might bite. Frodon's interesting going up to 3 miles, and he actually brings in handicap form, which to novice chasers can be very good. And poor Maddie player, I hope she's watching later on, obviously, because we've got Frodon running here, and then we've got the new one running next. So I hope she puts that double up again and tells you that you can't win. Where else in the field? Minella Daddy, this is, again, he's another one. I'm reiterating this point. It's another quick turnaround. And Sean Bowen, if you've seen the Channel 4 footage, he was gutted he didn't win last time because the horse met the last slightly wrong, cost him momentum, and Regal Encore came flying past. I do like him as a horse. I just question the turnaround. Present Man, he'll be a lot happier going right-handed. The way he jumped around Doncaster, he went right at every fence, so he did well to win there. But I think of the Nichols pairing, I would prefer Frodon. This is Churchtown Champ. I'll give a small mention to. I thought he was impressive at Southall, but I think he is, like most of the outsiders, here for a day out. And I'll say it now, the absence of Thistlecrack in this race, I think, is a massive positive, because if Thistlecrack had turned up here, I think we'd have had a free runner affair, and Thistlecrack had just schooled round and won with head in his chest. So I'm happy he's gone for the King George for that reason, because this makes this a competitive race. And Amore Alato is the selection. Is an each way price, but I'll actually put him up to win.
I wish you didn't do that. I'm really sweet on Amore Alato here.
So am I.
I really like him. As you say, he didn't miss a beat at Sandown last time. We're making almost, well, just about every yard of the running. He jumped absolutely phenomenally. It's a positive that Richard Johnson keeps the ride. He's only rated 137, so he does have quite a bit to find on official ratings. But it's the sort of track, i.e. Kempton, that if a horse does get into a rhythm, he can be absolutely awesome around, and he can excel on what his rating would say. I think Amore Alato, to his best, he could be nearly on 50 horse, because he's been campaigning some good races. He was beaten, albeit 36 lengths behind Silniaco Conti. It shows how high a stead Johnny Farrelly holds the horse in, because he wouldn't really over face his horses by campaigning them at the top level. He wasn't really ridden to his usual pressing tactics on that day, and I think he's just trying to pick up a bit of prize money, to be quite honest. But 9-1 is a huge price about a horse that's a phenomenal jumper at his best. 3 miles seemingly is absolutely perfect after he ran at Sandown last time out. Of the main dangers, you'd have to give a lot of respect to Annabelle Fly. It was a horse that I absolutely adored last year. It kept on getting wrong, mostly for the fact that Tony Martin wasn't stepping up in trip. Won first time out over 2.5 miles at the Punchestown Festival last year, then stepped back down in trip on Chase debut at the start of the year when beating Martello Tower, and then was a good second to Coney Island, who might be a quirky so-and-so, but he's a very talented quirky so-and-so last time out, as Adam mentioned. And Frodon needs to be given a lot of respect, because he's a 4-year-old, but he's been winning, or he won last time out in the Caspian Caviar Gold Cup, a very, very competitive handicap chase. For a 4-year-old to be doing that, I think it speaks volumes as to how good Frodon is. And of course, he gets weight from the rest of the field, being just a 4-year-old. So Frodon has to come into the reckoning. But for me and Adam, Callum, it's Amore Alato. Please don't make it a clean sweep.
Of the ones away from the two principals in the market, he was the one that I preferred out of the rest of them. That's not to say I really fancy him, but I do like the fact that he goes out in front on his own. He's a brilliant jumper, and I think a lot of them will be vulnerable for that. Fly's form, he's potentially very underestimated. I thought the Trimore was a potentially very good race, and I think we'll look at the end of the season and think, wow, that was a serious race. I think Coney Island could be high class. Alpha de Zobo, I think stepping up to 3 miles is going to be as good as he was over hurdles. And Annabelle Fly obviously was in between the two. The trip is the concern or the question mark as such. I'm not 100% convinced he really wants 3 miles. If I was, then I would bet him without doubt at 3-1, because I think he's the best horse in the race. So Frodon, he's quite hard to weigh up, really. Bringing that handicap form helps he gets £7 from the field, being the 4-year-old in the field. Thought he did it really well last time. I think you can excuse his Paddy Power run, and by that he's won every other start since September, really. So he's done very little wrong. He's got a lot of experience for a 4-year-old. I think that'll hold him in good stead. I expect a solid run. I just don't know if he's as classy as Annabelle Fly. I'm undecided on a bet at the moment. I'm well against Mike Bite, by the way. I cannot have him winning at all. I don't think he hasn't impressed me with his jumping whatsoever in his first 2 starts. I thought he was very careful last time. He made a couple of blunders when he got beaten at Fosslas on his debut. I think he's got to step up a lot. I mean, he won a really poor race last time. He's also got the trip. I couldn't have him one bit. And as well, Present Man, I thought, won a weak race, or a race that kind of fell apart last time when 007 was well touted and got bloggered. And Present Man
throwing in new terms.
Pieces at the
Can
front.
I just say, if you go back to our last show and you'd have said that, no one would have known what you meant. You wouldn't know what you meant in that.
Like if you'd have said,
2016 year of Trump, Brexit, and blogger. It's been an interesting year. So I've gone way too long on this. I think Annabelle Fly wins if he sees out the trip. In terms of bet, I'm undecided at the moment.
Overly disagree. Annabelle Fly probably a worthwhile favourite at the moment, but a strong mention for Amore Alato, which I wasn't overly expecting from Adam, but nonetheless, thank you very much, my friend.
no worries. I'd have backed him in the Silver Cup at Ascot last week because he was entered up there, and I thought he was dangerous off that handicap mark. But it's telling that they've gone for a Grade 1 rather than a handicap, which I thought he was capable of winning. So,
Well, another Grade 1 on the card over at Kempton is the 240, that the 32 Red Christmas Hurdle, 2 miles on good ground. It's going to be a pretty strongly run pace, mostly strongly run race, I should say, mostly thanks to the new one, who last time out won the International Hurdle, going out frenetically almost in front and beat My Tent or Yours, who reopposes. But it's Yanworth, Callum, that heads the market. It's currently around the 5 to 4 mark, was beaten in Neptune last year, a winning return at Ascot. He's still unexposed against 2 fully exposed hurdlers, and really, he could be anything.
He could be anything. I'm just not really convinced he really wants 2 miles, to be honest, especially around a flat track like Kempton. I really thought they were going to step him up in trip and go for the World Hurdle. His grinding victory against Little Rockefeller over just under 2.5 miles last time suggested the same to me. And I think he could well be vulnerable against the new one if the new one gets ridden like he did last time. And I thought that made a big difference last time at Cheltenham. And it wasn't form I wanted to get too carried away with, because if I'm honest, I don't think My Tent or Yours is the same horse anymore. I think he's arguably regressive as a 9-year-old. But the new one probably looks as good as ever that day. I just love the way he was ridden by Richard Johnson from the front. And it's the best I've seen him jump for quite a long time as well. He's never been the best of jumpers, and he never missed a beat that day. If he puts up a similar performance, then I think Yanworth has got a real tough task on his hands. And in terms of bet, I'd certainly be taking 2 to 1 the new one every day of the week over 6 to 4 Yanworth. Obviously, Yanworth has that potential. But I'm just not fully convinced about the trip. Bar that, I don't know. New ones should get his own way out in front as well. If they do decide to ride him like that again, and I think it'd be a big difference. Chisabello, I think, has got a lot to find after winning what was just a race that fell apart on dreadful ground at Haydock last time. It was a shame because it was a really good prize and it was worth more than the Fighting Fifth, for goodness sake. My Tent or Yours, like I said, I do think isn't the same horse anymore. I do think you'll appreciate the ground. The ground Derby went wrong from at Cheltenham. He's always a horse that liked top of the ground, so he'll have no excuses on Monday. But I do have the suspicion he's not the same horse anymore. The new one looks arguably as good as ever. And I think he can finally land his first 2 mile Grade 1, which I saw that stat early in the week, and I was like, has he never won a Grade 1 over 2 miles? And he hasn't. He's only ever won the Neptune. Just kind of surprising, but I think this is a grand opportunity for him to do so.
Well, you say he's been second in this race twice, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Never got his head in front.
Yeah, Faheen and My Tent or Yours when he belted the last.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the new one has won here, albeit in a Mickey Mouse race for a horse of his ability. I've never really thought that Kempton was his track, though. I know different tactics. If Sam Twiston Davis is more pressing on him and really kicks him forward, then we're going to have a good pace to run at. For me, the jury's sort of still out with Yanworth, much like Callum, and whether he's a 2 miler, because the start of the year, before you know what I mean, Harry really confirmed himself as a world hurdle horse. Yanworth was being talked about more towards the 3 mile hurdling division. He comes here, though, is a absurdly short price for me off the back of beating Little Rockefeller, who's an absolute dude and accredited connections. But in this sort of race, he'd be coming up very much short. One thing I'll mention about My Tent or Yours that a little unfair of is that I don't think the new course really complements his running style 100% at Cheltenham, because for me, the new course is more about stamina, no matter what trip, and the old course is more about my terms or yours' style of running and travelling strongly into the race, and then a turn of foot on the shorter home straight. So I think that suits him more. And of course, my terms or yours, he's been beaten twice this year, but on heavy ground and soft ground, which we know is not perfect for him. And Callum rightly made the point that good ground on Boxing Day, other than any sort of miracles happening at Kempton and rain pouring down, he's going to get. I think my terms or yours is probably overpriced in that regard, but I think he could be booked to follow the new one home, who in his new tactics of being kicked out in front, setting a really good gallop, he could be the one they've got to beat once again. I was really impressed with him last time out in the International, and I thought the thing that a lot of people didn't really make a great deal of was that his jumping was very, very good on the whole. He didn't jump out to the right. He didn't really batter, or he didn't hit too many hurdles, we'll say, which he has done in the past. I know he's 8 years old, Adam, but are we getting carried away by saying the new one could be almost rejuvenated and he could be somewhere near his best once again?
I'd agree with you being near his best, but I felt the race was slightly overrated, saying that he was as good as ever. My tent of yours is, I'll touch on him first, actually, on another show. Sorry, it's sacrilege. I'm talking about another show. But on the Monday Night Review, I put him up as an each way. Yes, I know. I put him up.
You don't mention the name of it.
I did. Oh, well. Doesn't matter. Anyway, Monday night, I put up my tent of yours, 3 places each way at 12-1, because I thought he's going to finish ahead of Chittibello again. In fact, it's Chibello, not Chittibello. I found that out a couple of weeks ago, and then I've gone and ruined it by calling him the wrong name.
Found it out last year.
I felt he ran okay at Cheltenham. He ran a lot better at Cheltenham than he did at Haydock, and I felt he'd come on for Haydock at Cheltenham. He was getting £8 from the new one, though, but at the same time, I think my tent or yours will run the same race every time. He'll come there on the bridle and find very little. But in a race like this, I think he could easily finish second. Yanworth, I'm kind of agreeing with you. I'm not sure 2 miles is what he wants. And he doesn't jump like a champion hurdler either. He has to jump a lot more slicker than he normally does. He spends a bit of time in the air, where I felt it'd have been better over a longer trip. The new one is probably the one to side with, just on the basis it's a process of elimination. He looked not as his best. He looked really good last time. His jumping, as you guys said, was really impressive. It'd have been very interesting if Vroom Vroom Magada rocked up here, because I'd have probably tried to have found any excuse to take her on, because as you guys know, and many others know on the tweet machine, I think she is slightly overrated, and I got found out completely at Punchestown by her. The others, I hope Grey Wolf River jumps around and gets prize money, and if you never know, if something weird happens, she could be a Grade 1 winner. I highly doubt it, though. Chivello, I think my tent of yours will reverse form from Haydock with him. Although he's going to get his conditions, which is good ground and a flat track, I think they're going to go stronger pace here, and that turn of foot will be blunted, going a faster pace. Compared to Haydock, where they just crawled around on heavy ground, which he doesn't like, he had the fastest turn of foot in what turned out to be a very poor race. The new one wins it. I can't have a bet in the race.
Are we all agreeing on the new one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we all think that my tent or yours follows him home?
Yeah. I'm going to say yes.
I don't know. Maybe I was being a bit too harsh on my tent or yours, saying he was regressive, but because he has got legitimate excuses on the ground, both at starts this season, but just don't think he's got the legs anymore.
He's just not. He's still not genuine. That's the problem. He just doesn't find off the bridle. Sorry, Michael. Michael's going to be watching this and hating us for slating his favourite horse.
This. Michael will not watch this.
He will, because he sent a naughty lucky 15 in for all those that watched yonks ago.
What's
Michael sent. He might think yours is part of it. So
who's Michael?
Who's Michael? The guy in Australia.
The fourth wheel.
The fourth wheel.
One of the original 3.
Yeah, the original 3. Yeah, sorry, Callum.
I'm going to suggest a forecast that On The Other Hoof puts up, but since Callum doesn't agree, and Callum's record of forecasts and ruining them on Boxing Day,
No, just do it.
Just the par. Oh man,
I'm very happy to take on Yanworth. I really am.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a little shocked that we're all with the new one. If you'd have stopped us, probably when we did our last video, us all tipping up the new one to win the Christmas hurdle. I'm not sure I'd have done that much, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But the new one for the Christmas hurdle from everyone here on the other hoof, which is something I can't say I did expect. Hopefully, the King George might be a little bit more clear cut. The 32 Red King George 6th Chase, a grade 1 over 3 miles. Once again, we've got 5 turning up. A lot of people on as Adam put earlier on, the Twitter machine have been saying how disappointed they are with the turnout. I say, if you're disappointed with Thistlecrack against Q Card as a Christmas present, then you're in the wrong sport, personally, because this is the race that we wanted without Coneygree. Is not right, so we can't really be pushing that. Q Card against Thistlecrack, Adam, it's not something that I'd really be complaining about.
Nope. And all credit to the owners, by the way. It's more Colin Tizzard has said to the owners, look, you have the choice where you want to run. And John Snooker's gone, right, we're going for the King George. And on the basis of his Newbury win, I don't disagree with them, because that was his best performance and arguably the best race he's running over fences. Admittedly, Ibister wouldn't be cited in a King George, nor would Big Bad John. But the fact that Ibister put pressure on his jumping and he passed it with flying colours and was only 3 seconds outside the course record, considering he barely came off the bridle, I think he's more than ready for this test. It's his 4th start over fences. And I think the stronger the race, I think the better he'll be. Admittedly, his hurdles form you can question, but it's the ease in which he does it, though. It seems like it's no effort to him. I think this horse is he is a superstar already, but he's got the potential to be better than what we've seen, which is the exciting part of this. And then you have Q Card, who is the established. And people are giving him a lot of unfair stick, saying everything he beat last season is poor. Completely disagree with that. You look at Aintree, that performance was as good as ever. And then you go to Haydock, where he beat a race-fit Coneygree. I'm going to be different now. I felt Coneygree was fit, primed, ready to go at Haydock, and he laughed at him. Admittedly, they thought Coneygree would come on a ton for the run, but then again, I'm not a paddock judge, but from what I saw there, I didn't feel Coneygree would improve as much. And it's a shame he misses the race, but they never... Interestingly, with Coneygree, I'm just going to go off to the side here. When they mentioned the race, they never mentioned the ground being a concern, which sort of raised question marks, because he's going to be good ground on Boxing Day. That would have been a problem for him straight away. So I don't get why they've never mentioned it in the first place.
They said it after Haydock that they thought that Coneygree might want better ground now.
That's a bit strange, considering how fragile he is.
Yeah, I agree, but I don't know. It was something worth watching for the future, but
yeah,
apparently ground isn't so much of an issue.
Was he not beaten on merit?
Yeah, I felt he was beaten on merit. That's
Significantly better horse, is what I think. I really do.
I agree with you. A lot of people disagreed with me. Sorry.
I got a chance to talk to Colin Tizzard a little bit earlier on in the week. Another platform that I work on, not mentioning the name though, Adam.
Oh, sorry.
And he said that he thinks Haydock's 3 miles is the perfect race for him. And I completely agree, because I'm not saying Q Card's a non-stayer, but horses with more speed in the 3 mile division get away with it. I mean, Dinas was second in it, for goodness sake. And on no other day he ever got anywhere near to getting 3 miles. I think Q Card in both Betfair Chase wins has been somewhat going into proper 3 mile chases. He for Tour on merit last year. I think he should have beaten him a hell of a lot easier as well. But I think Q Card does have a tendency to be flattered in the Betfair Chase, because Haydock 3 miles is about as easy as you're going to get going into Kempton, where they're going to go probably a good clip, because Thistlecrack will more than likely be setting the pace with Silvaniaco Conti out in front. I think he's going to have to improve a heck of a lot.
There's also the reasoning as well that Q Card is a better horse going left-handed as well, which I actually agree with. I think he's at least a stone better.
Don't disagree then.
Yeah. I mean, that run in the King George last year, that's one of the best races you'll ever see. It was tremendous renewal. And it is sad that you can think in the sport of horse racing that 12 months can make such a difference. I mean, since we were last on, the Tour was rerouted to the Ryanair from the Gold Cup and is sadly no longer with us. And if he'd have been here, my God, there's a difference for you that people might go, if there's just one more horse like him, a Don Cossack, say, people might be then going, oh, this is actually a good renewal. We've got the matchup that we want as well, so I'm not complaining. I think this is numbers-wise, it's not up to par King George, but with the quality we've got, which is a grade 1, you'd rather have quality than quantity, some might say, I'm happy with the turnout. And we can't dismiss the other 3 either. And Joss's Hill, he's a reformed character. I hated Joss's Hill over fences, I'll freely admit it. But he has turned the corner in his last 2 starts. And when he won the Peterborough, I thought the Ascot Chase is tailor-made for him and he'll bag his grade 1. But connections have said he's been thriving and they've wanted an excuse to run him somewhere. This is a perfect race. Whether he gets 3 miles or not is another matter. But on the way he's been staying on over 2.5, I don't think 3 round Kempton will be a problem. T for 2... yeah, that's my thoughts on T for 2. I like the horse. I just wish that it was a different jockey on him. I don't think Lizzie Kelly suits him. That's me being as polite as possibly can. I'm not trying to be rude in any sense. Yeah, I think I'd love to see Richard Johnson on him. Just an attacking ride on him. I think he'd be a very good horse. I just think a different jockey would help. Silvaniaco Conti, unfortunately, dear old Silvaniaco, he's gone at the game, I'm afraid. He'll have a lovely run round, hopefully pick up some prize money. I'd love to see him run really well, but I think he won't get anywhere near Thistlecrack or Q Card. If you had to get a selection at me, I'd side with the young pretender over the established, because I think we're going to see what Thistlecrack is really made of on Boxing Day, and I hope he passes the test with flying colours.
I'm with, for what it's worth, I'm with Thistlecrack as well.
I'd say that's a clean sweep.
I think it's down to us. It's our fault as racing fans. We always expect too much from novice chasers first time out. I mean, Yorkshire was crabbed first time out of the fences this season. He didn't jump amazingly well, but they're having their first day out of the fences in public. And for Q Card to be, for Thistlecrack to be almost flawless at Chepstow, albeit one bad jump, which really wasn't all that bad at all. I think 3 or 4 out. He was crabbed for that. He made 1 or 2 mistakes at Cheltenham, which, if that's all you're sort of crabbing him for, and that's the only thing you can find to really bring him down on, then you're not really finding a great deal about Thistlecrack. And last time he was absolutely awesome at Newbury. He didn't really put a foot wrong. Yes, he's only beaten small fields, but he's got another small field to contend with here. He just has slightly better opposition in the likes of Q Card, and you can throw any others as well with better opposition. Thistlecrack, for me, he just looks the complete package. He's done very little wrong on fences. Q Card, we know everything about him now, and I think the younger legs of Thistlecrack could well be the ones to take the King George. 11 to 8 about Thistlecrack, 6 to 5 around that price for Q Card. I know which horse I'd be taking every day of the week, and apparently, Callum, you're the same.
To be honest, I've got very little more to add, really. It's not a race I'm going to be having a bet in, because it's not a race you need to have a bet in. It's a race you can enjoy because we're all racing fans, and it's such a fascinating race, seeing the 2 Colin Tizard superstars meet up, 2 very different profiles. Yeah, I just adore Thistlecrack. I think, I mean, I love them both. I think they're both absolute stars, but Thistlecrack has really captured the imagination, and I thought he jumped fantastically last time at Newbury. And I know, it's a completely different test, this, but I just thought he looked the real deal. He has looked the real deal. He was incredible over hurdles last year. He's going to reach the same heights over fences. And in terms of pure ability, I think he's better than Q Card. So if I don't think his jumping is going to hold him back, and I think he's a better horse, then I'm going to have to think he's going to win the race. It's not a strong opinion, because anything can happen in this sort of race. It's a race I want to enjoy without really overanalyzing and saying this will win. I'm going to do my nuts on this one, do my nuts on that one. I'm just going to leave it. The other 3 are there to take part and nothing more. Justice Hill, T for 2, Silvaniaco Conti, in that order, I think are preferred in terms of being behind the 2 Tizard runners. Yeah, just enjoy it. You don't need to go over the form of Q Card and Thistlecrack, because all you know out the back of your hand. Let's just hope they both stay up and both are there turning for home, and then the scenes of Boxing Day will be complete.
Just to take you guys back to the question that we started off the King George preview with, 5 runners. What horse that's fitting well in the 3 mile chasing division right now would make this a better race?
They wouldn't. I don't think that's. I think people are just annoyed that it can only produce 5 runners. So I think it would be a better spectacle if there were 10 runners. And there might be inferior horses, but it would just mean, a more truly run race. But and just things like that, I think it would make a better spectacle. There's also prize money for 6th, and there's only 5 runners. So I do get the people's point in that. But if you're crabbing it saying, oh, it's not a good race because only 2 horses have got a good chance in it, I think that's nonsense, because it's one of the most fascinating renewals I can remember at the King George.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've also got one more question.
It's a different race. It's not what we usually see, is it? It's not.
No.
It's not a usual. Thistlecrack is a once in a life, not in a lifetime, but once in a decade horse, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Somebody made the point actually on Twitter earlier that 1984 you had 3 runners. You had Borough Hill Lad, you had Wayward Lad, and you had Coomstitch, and that produced an absolute cracker. Borough Hill Lad not at his best round, Kempton, and he got up on the line to beat Coomstitch. Wayward Lad was disappointing. But I have one question to ask. Hands up, anybody on this panel who backed Thistlecrack in a handicap hurdle off 135 at Sandown when he got beat?
No, because me and Callum knew that he was running over the wrong trip.
Oh, I thought he was well handicapped to get away with it. And then he goes and bolts up an 80 next time in the Grade 1.
Hands up who tipped the 50 to 1 second in that race in Raven Black.
After timer.
Friend, watch the show.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Oh, can't get you on that. Oh, for God's sake.
That is the racing on Boxing Day. Not done, but the terrestrial racing on Boxing Day done and dusted. There's still time to get your questions in, though. At On The Other Hoof is where you'll find us on Twitter. Any fancies you have for Boxing Day, any questions you may have about the Boxing Day action, do send those in. We've had a few, quite a lot actually, as well. One from Alex Bellew, who jumped the gun a little bit, saying, gents, is Vroom Vroom Mag worth a bet at 2 to 1? No. That is a terrible, terrible bet.
No.
I have to say, he did get his question in quite early, so we'll forgive Alex for that. Bones. I always forget his actual name.
I just know him as Skeletor.
Yeah.
Met him at Sandown once. Nice guy.
Yeah, I did as well. Oh, you're Skeletor. He said, see you at 6 p.m. to start with. We weren't that late. 4:10 after Adam webbed it.
That's a new term that's come out since March as well. If you'd have said Adam webbed it in March.
I think it was around before that.
I don't. I think it was after.
Consciously. Subconsciously.
Yeah. Well, it says, is Native River a good thing for the Wild National? Any outside fancies for the race?
Is he definitely going?
Definitely, but 95%, I think.
Is he too classy? Saying he's
Yeah.
classy, right?
But then again, the Welsh Nationals are type of
Ladies, one at a time.
It's well, he carries top weight. I think it's a type of horse that could win a Welsh National. The worry is the ground. I mean, if it keeps raining, he won't run.
Yeah.
And I like one. Well, he's not really a price anymore, but I'm keen on Malansbar anyway, who ran a lovely race on his return at Chepstow. 3 miles is too short. Any rain that falls is a big positive to his chances. Trip and track at Chepstow will be absolutely fine. I think he's a cracking each way bet.
The two. Sorry, Luke, but the two of them that finished 1-2 in the Hennessy. It's a tough race to return from just a month later and have another grueling race.
Yeah,
I'll be happy enough to take them on Friday. I think Native River is in what I don't think is the best potentially. We'll see what happens with the King George, but he's the kind of horse I could see running well in a Gold Cup.
Colin says I could have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at this rate. The amount of horses he's got for it.
Michael Dickinson.
Yeah.
Regarding Native River and Carroll's Destrials, I was just looking through the race the other day. I can easily see them being 1-2 again.
Potentially.
I know the Hennessy is a tough race. I think it was a below par renewal this year. I think a lot of people thought that as well. Carroll's Destrial will be better up in trip as long as he jumps as well as he did in the Hennessy. And Native River, we know everything about Native River. I could easily see them being 1 and 2.
In normal circumstances, I agree with you. It's just, it would just nick that tough race, another tough race. But
you'd think that the Hennessy would be a great trial for the Welsh National. It's actually not. Going back through the years, you see the horses that run well in the Hennessy and get touted up for the Welsh National. They don't run well in it. I'm trying to think of examples of horses that have ran in the Hennessy and then won the Welsh National. I think going way back, Corbiere was one that did it. That's the only one I can think of that ran in the Hennessy and then went on to the Welsh National. I can remember horses that fancied that disappointed.
When was the last Welsh National that you can remember that was run on anything better than good to soft?
Oh, that's a tricky question.
You'd have to go a long way back.
There's been one this century. There definitely has. I'm trying to remember. I'm sure it's good to soft. I'm trying to remember.
Mountainous when he won his first?
That was heavy, I think. Yeah, Tidal Bay was in it. Yeah, it had definitely been a test of stamina. I think Synchronised wasn't on that bad a ground, from what I remember.
Jones Cross was second. It had to be
it has to be bottomless. To be fair, Giles Cross didn't need completely bottomless ground. As long as it was soft, he was all right. So I can't remember. I generally can't think of a Welsh National that's been run on kind of late, but it can happen.
So just going through the last few winners: Mountainous, Emperor's Choice, Mountainous, Monbeg, Doodler, Bode By, Synchronised, Dream Alliance, Knots Repair. You have to go a long way back, I think.
No, most of them have been run on soft ground.
Yeah, I'd be struggling. Couldn't be an On the Other Hoof show without Tony Amato. So Tony Amato,
I missed that impression.
Or tipping up some Tony Amato. Tipping up something in a bumper. Says
we've never been away, lads. We've never been away.
Yeah, it's just all coming back to me now. It says I'm not sure how to say it. As Soligosta at Huntingdon in the 340, a decent bet and a good bumper, lads. Lots of bets over the few days. You're going to say I'll try and get back for 410. We helped you out there, Tony.
There's one I'm interested in that bumper, actually. It's the full brother to Potter's Legend called Potter's Hedger. I thought it was a big prize. Potter's Legend himself won on bumper debut at Fakenham. It could potentially be the same trend. I don't know, but I get the angle with his, though, because it won nicely first time out. So, but I'd chance Potter's Hedger each way at a price.
It's crazy. Alex Belly has come back in time now. So he's not tipping up for Uber and Mag this time. He says, what do you make of Morelato's chance in the Corte Novices Chase? Trainer says this is Gold Cup will improve for 3 miles. And any fancies on an unfashionable Huntingdon card, gents? Thinking of making the trip, but struggling with picks. Well, me and Adam were very strong on Morelato, as you heard earlier on. Callum didn't completely scout him either.
And Potter's Hedger each way in the bumper.
Yeah. I'm actually going to nap. I think I'm going to nap at Huntingdon. So.
Oh.
And that'll be, I think, in the opener, American Life.
Here we go.
Can't just give the nap before nap time.
Oh.
Well, yeah, I know. Adam used to do it all the time.
Yeah, I did, actually.
I'm pretty sure he used to do it every single show. Alex Belly was also tipped up, but sizing Tennessee in the 130. Looks interesting with 139. Now sent handicapping after being beaten by 007 and Whisper. Agreement with me once again, because I was with sizing Tennessee in that contest. And again, another horse that you couldn't really discount.
Nope, I agree with that tweet completely. He's one that I considered on my shortlist anyway. I just felt that Gold Present had more to offer, so...
Yeah,
good race.
High Life Heritage has tweeted in, saying, Black Line, discuss. Was he outstayed last time, and will a slightly shorter / sharper track play to his strengths? As I said earlier, he's always a horse that, as favourite, I'd be probably looking to take on other fences.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. The thing is, as well, is I don't think he was outstayed in the Hennessy. I think he's an out-and-out stayer. I'd agree with what Ryan Hatch said, because he stopped quickly after the final fence. It's just interesting to see if anything's been tweaked since. So he's one to watch rather than I wouldn't be trusting to back just quickly after the Hennessy.
He goes on to High Life goes on to say, surely Justice Hill's jumping will go to pot tomorrow. Come on, Jason, you're better than that. When he's taken on by the best jumper of a fence in the game.
Thistle crack, Q card, T for 2.
It has to be.
He's a good jumper.
Yeah. I know who he means. Just winding him up.
Conte.
Yes.
Is it Conti?
Yes. Best champion in
Bless
the game. Hmm.
Silviaka Conti, who once fell in the Gold Cup.
Oh. Don't. He'll be angry now. You just got to slate the new one, and that'll be the full house. So.
Happy Christmas. I won for Callum from Heritage. A Dugan / spring-loaded reverse forecast at Wolves. That's disgusting. Get it out.
I haven't had a proper look at Wolves yet, but I shall have a quick look at that race because that's that question.
Here we go.
So we'll see with that one. Lights camera probably gets his own way out in front, so I think I'll send him a long way. Yeah, we'll see.
Relevant rating. Dave Furlong. I really hope that's your surname. It's such an apt name for liking horse racing. Saying I like Vicente in the Welsh National.
Vicente.
Yeah.
Oh no, thank you. I'm not a fan.
He's already a national winner.
Yeah, and that's how I got in the office I got a reputation straight away of putting up horses that saying they can't jump or this and that, and he was.
Wait. How long have you worked at the press association for?
9 months. And that was at that point.
And how quickly did they take it? Did they work out that you're a shit tipster?
Anyway, a family show. 3 weeks. Because I'd have been there about 3 weeks when I said Vicente can't jump, won't win. Yeah, there's several of those we've had in the office, and I'm not going to go into them details now. No way, Jose.
Oh,
if they're watching, they will nod and appreciate. So
they sound like great people, to be honest.
And they are, yeah.
Matt Wynn said, who had to do Luke's hair and makeup before the show? Now, hair wasn't so much of an issue because I've got a Santa hat on. The makeup, this is not natural.
Oh, my word.
Another person who I hope is second on Twitter is actually his real second name is Derek Gamblepun. That would just be the best second name ever.
I've never known somebody so happy that we were coming back on air. He was so happy. It's like Santa came early.
He was probably drunk.
Who knows?
It says any plot jobs for the National to look out for this festive period.
Oh, there we go. Henry Parry Morgan. Next.
Me and Callum. We're sort of we're putting in Operation Gallant Oscar now, aren't we?
He's entered, didn't he?
The 10th qualifier over Christmas, yeah.
Paddy Power. Yeah, I'm going to back him before he runs next time. But I've had my fair share of luck with national horses, and he's the most confident I've been on a national horse at this time of year.
He was a real eye catcher last time out, wasn't he, over hurdles?
Yeah, well, it's just
really well.
The case speaks for itself, really, doesn't it?
Kai Wills. I've missed Kai. How great is Kai?
He's awesome.
We love Kai. It says, do you think Identity Thief can beat Min?
It's a good race, that. But I think Min wins.
Identity Thief, to be honest.
Ooh.
I agree.
It is a race that Mullins has had a few turned over. So I think
was this a race that the got beat?
Over.
Champagne Fever.
Champagne Fever. And I don't think Min's that good.
I agree.
I don't think he's as good as many think he is. I think he's a good horse, but I don't know. I'm really surprised to see him get caught out by.
It's them colours. If you could put a three-legged donkey in a race, make up a name, stick it in the market, and people would back it. If you said it was owned by Rich Ritchie, trained by Willie Mullins, that's the nature now of horse racing. It's incredible.
It's just because there are excuses for the Supreme, potentially. Yeah. Everybody instantly just thinks that he should have won the Supreme
which is wrong.
Or his Altior was just better.
That's performance of the year for me. That is, the more you watch it, it's incredible. The way he powered up the hill. I don't think Min had a prayer.
Awesome, isn't it?
Oh,
best horse back in third.
Yeah, I agree with that one. He's going to run over Christmas. He's entered up in a few races. His Bouver there.
He was
2017
entered.
Arkle winner.
He was entered against Altior. 2017 JLT winner. I think you're fine.
No, Arkle winner. Arkle winner. He's all
Yeah,
speed.
JLT.
All speed.
Kai, I would be backing Identity Thief against Min personally. I wasn't 100% impressed with Min first time out of offences, and on hurdles form, I know Min didn't get as many chances to boast his record, but Identity Thief's form is by far and away, to coin another Twitter phrase.
Much the best. Oh God.
Kai also says, is Jenkins and Thistlecrack double printing money? Great to see you boys back. Hope to see you again before the festival.
I hope so. I hope it is. And this isn't after timing either. If you go through my timeline on Twitter, I backed Jenkins before he ran in the Goffs bumper, thinking at 25 he was a great bet before it because he wouldn't shorten. He then got beat and didn't shorten for a couple of months, so I was made to feel a fool. And he's now 6-1 favourite for the Supreme. I hope he wins and I hope he jumps better. David Bass, I think, is a positive for him. I think he needs somebody on him to make his mind up at hurdles, because at Newbury he was a bit sloppy, backing off his hurdles. And when Geraghty made his mind up for him, he was very good in the end. And it was an impressive performance. But I want to see more on Boxing Day. Has to jump better.
Yeah, I would agree. But you'd expect him to come on from that, that first run at Newbury. Alan Taxi has tweeted about two TAFs, saying Dan Skelton made a point at Ayr last year, saying that ground is the key to two TAFs and he needs good ground.
Well, he's going to get it Boxing Day, so...
You wouldn't disagree with that. Mike Bland has taken a point that I said earlier on, crabbing the RSA form. He says the RSA form is claiming chase standard, yeah?
Well, it is not good form. The National Hunt Chase has worked out better, and when I questioned it being upgraded to a grade 2, maybe they had a point of doing it.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
Yeah, I know.
I've only realised now because the format of Google and YouTube has changed. There's like a comment section on YouTube now. So
is there really?
Yeah, there's loads of people been asking like questions and messages on there.
Oh my word!
I'm sorry, guys. I'll try and locate that before the end of the video. It's all changed, and I have no idea what's going on. So
there's a few.
Jeff Handley has said, "Good to see you guys back." Tony Martin's yard without a winner, 5 runners, and have the favourite Annabelle flying at 205 would be a slight concern, probably from the Tony Martin yard, not so much of a concern as others.
Yeah, I wouldn't be concerned by that. I mean, Annabelle Fly won in November. I don't think it's anything to do with yard form with Tony Martin because you know how he trains. So it's weird to see him as a favourite in the grade 1, I will admit that.
It's not something we've really come to expect. I think it's a better way or best way to put it. Oddswise has tweeted saying bloggered #kiss of death.
Everybody thought I was bad, and then look what happened.
Well, he's got a way to go to get that.
What, really? Oh my word! All right.
Steve Mullington has asked if we did a Secret Santa this year. We didn't.
No. Mostly
because the person who got Michael would be pretty peed off, I think, because he'd have to send a present all the way to Australia.
I did. I have sent a present to Australia for him by his parents. So.
Okay, well, yeah, you're not really paying for the shipping then, are you?
Nope. But he was thrilled with what he got. Are we
allowed to ask what you sent?
Yeah, I said. You remember I gave you?
Oh, was it My Ten of Yours coaster?
No, Balthazar King.
Oh, yeah, I think you put a picture up of that.
Balthazar King. Oh, what time. What fun times. Yeah, he was thrilled with it. So it turns out that I'm really good at buying Christmas presents.
Yeah,
as Luke, well, you know about that, yeah. And Callum. Yeah.
Mike Bland has tweeted again saying the new one had a new bit on last time out, which connection and jump straighter apparently.
If you put it on again, then it'll help. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll leave it on this time.
We'd be morons not to.
We've got a new market of On the Other Hoof watchers. Ian Cruddus has said San Miguel or Carling.
What was he saying?
He's an interesting character, isn't he, Ian Cruddus?
He is.
It says San Miguel or Carling.
Oh, San Miguel or Carling? Well, San Miguel.
I mean,
out of the two.
Cronenberg beats both by a long way, but
Yeah, there's a lot that beat both, but
yeah,
out
I think it's about Mr. Cronus, to be honest.
Poor choices.
Adam,
Should I use these comments on YouTube because there's
one sec, we've got two more.
Okay.
Mike Blunt says Prospectus a good bet in the Grade 2 Juvenile Hurdle at Leopardstown as long as the race doesn't come too soon. His time figure was huge in comparison.
That's a strong race. I really like the juveniles this year.
There's a lot getting excited about that race.
Yeah, Mike Bland has also tweeted. I've got the account as well. He said that I am right, by the way. The Welsh National, having been run on better than soft ground, 05 and 2001 were good to soft officially. What else we got? He also said Sun Glider at Wolves is the best bet of the day anywhere. Matt Wynn, he can't wait for the new one to lose his Grade 1 virginity. I think he means at 2 miles. And laugh at Yanni Yanworth. Okay.
Another thing that hadn't happened since we were last on air is that me and Callum hadn't been to Santa Anita, which Phil Dinsdale was also there.
Oh, you didn't see him either. That's a disgrace.
We were there.
We saw him at Cheltenham, though. We saw Phil at Cheltenham. It was good to meet him.
Yeah.
Bloody nice bloke. Bloody nice bloke.
Right, go on, Callum. You read out the questions.
It's just the usual suspects having a conversation with themselves, to be fair. So what we got? Mully's on there, Will's on there, Phil's on there.
I thought they'd know to tweet the On the Other Hoof account.
They should do, really. It's poor from them.
Alex Bellew says Merry Christmas and great shout at Black Line Wind Operation. Mully tipped off Moriolato on Drystone Radio. Phil's unhappy that Adam again tipped up one of his fancied.
You haven't heard him for 9 months, so he's been there safe in the secure in the knowledge that we wouldn't be aware of what we were tipping. So
Yanworth is a lay for Phil and Mully. Prove Money is for the new one. What else we got? Mouthwatering Clash in the King George. Then Will turns up.
Will's back again. Oh, look, Will's back again. Disios, is that it? 155 Leopardstown? Yeah.
Fiddler's Fight 210 is his each way double on Boxing Day and one night in Vienna. Phil says the best bet of the day is a win double with better days in the 213 Huntingdon and the Storyteller in the 155 at Down Royal. Will is the chairman of the Identity Thief fan club. And he also fancies Gallant Oscar. He's also joined the bandwagon.
Shit club.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty much it.
Will sounds like he's dominating that club.
No.
Are there any other members?
No. So yeah, he is dominating it.
Will is the boss, the chairman, the secretary, and also the tea maker.
Not the man who makes the tea for the man who makes the coffee.
We haven't done it for a while. It's nap time here on the Other Hoof. Adam.
I'm going to go to Wetherby and nap a Sue Smith horse and handicap hurdle. Cracking find. Who's going to love the ground at Wetherby. He hated it at Haydock, but still ran really commendably on that occasion. I think he's a big price. I know there's Solomon Grundy in there who won up attempt to qualify last time, but cracking find at the prices, I think, is well worth a go.
Cracking find then at Wetherby for Adam. Callum, for yourself?
The 4:30 at Doha. I'm joking.
And end.
Merry Christmas.
I have to say, I really like Two Tafts in the Novice Chase. He's a good bet for me at 11-2, so I'm going to put him up.
I am going to Huntingdon for mine in the 12:15, their first race of the day. American Life is dangerously well handicapped with Paddy Cowley taking a further £8 off.
If there's money for that, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know. When you know.
You know. And before we go, Michael sent in a naughty lucky 15, and why I'm reading this out, I don't know.
Michael?
Who's this Michael? The guy that used to be on the videos and then he buggered off to Australia. My tent of yours is not naughty, but he still puts it in and he makes a comment.
How is that not naughty?
I don't get it. Why is my tent of yours?
When we go off air, I'll teach you why that's naughty.
All right.
That mountain.
This is not. Oh, for God's sake! I wasn't thinking in them terms. Oh my word! Right, okay, then. Yeah, fair enough. And that's a naughty lucky 15. Dick Darcy at Wetherby for Sue Smith, and I'm not reading that comment out. No way. Good vibration at Wetherby in the 115. Every vibration is a good vibration. Oh, Michael. And Lady Buttons at Wetherby again in the 335. Not something he would ever be pressing. Oh, Michael. I'm still reeling over Dank at Royal Ascot. Oh, my word.
Was it one letter short of a hand shandy?
Wasn't it a speech impediment as well?
Possibly.
I think it was both, actually.
Possibly two things Michael knows plenty about. Right. It was good being back.
Great way to end the show.
And I know that we're a family show, but that's gone and completely been ruined at the end of the show. So, oh well.
We say we're a family show. We're very much not a family show.
Yeah, we're not.
How are you guys spending your Christmas?
I'm at home. I wasn't meant to be, but I am. So thanks to my colleagues for that. And I'll be going out tonight. Friends don't know I'm home unless they're watching this. And if they are, hello, but I doubt it.
Callum?
Just with fam. And then friends after Christmas mostly.
Yeah, just getting blindo most of the time.
Yeah, getting blindo.
I'll be at Donny on Thursday, and I'll be at Newbury and Cheltenham for New Year, so I get away for that. So that should be fun. If anybody's watching this and they want to say hello, come up and say hi.
Kempton on the 27th. And lastly, I think another thank you. Thank you to everyone who's come up to us in the past few months and asked when On The Other Hoof is coming back.
Nice why aren't you on the air? Come back.
I don't know, it's nice that people actually watch.
I don't think we appreciate what such a loyal fan base we had, and how many views we had until we hiatus.
Got a view.
So it's good to be back though.
We'll have to do a few more. We can't just do this one and then tease people. But I think if we did, it would be less often. Yeah, I agree with that.
Over the next few months, we will be doing a few. It's mostly as and when work allows us, to be honest. We will be doing Cheltenham previews, as always, with special guests. So we've got that to look forward to. But as you can appreciate, we will be doing a few shows for the next few months, but time permitting and work permitting, it doesn't always let us do as many as we'd want to do. But thank you for your loyalty. Thank you for sticking around as well. Enjoy the rest of your Christmas Eve. Christmas Day coming up tomorrow. Boxing Day in a couple of days at time. Stay safe this evening. And from everyone here at On The Other Hoof, Christmas and a Happy New Year.